In many imbalanced relationships, distance is a tool for control. One partner pulls away to regulate the dynamic, retreating when closeness feels overwhelming. This loop relies on a specific assumption. The avoidant believes the chasing partner will remain available, waiting on standby. That pursuit powers the avoidant's ego. While the anxious partner chases, the avoidant feels secure, dictating the terms of connection. Keeping this peace carries a heavy cost. The system only survives if one person is willing to continuously ignore their own emotional needs to maintain the connection. Eventually, the person doing all the adjusting stops playing the game. They stop chasing, they stop begging for clarity, and prioritize their own dignity instead. This quiet self-respect is a refusal to participate in the cycle. By choosing not to chase, you cut off the emotional fuel that the avoidant ego relies on to maintain its sense of control. The immediate shift in the relationship is subtle. Conversations still happen and replies remain kind, but the underlying desperation has vanished. The avoidant notices this change immediately. They realize that while you still care, your world no longer revolves around their schedule or their silence. This creates a strange tension because avoidants are often surprisingly comfortable with conflict. Anger acts as a signal of attachment. If you are yelling or begging, you are still deeply invested. Calm acceptance is far more unsettling because it signals genuine emotional independence. Avoidants often mistake this new self-respect for an intentional punishment. They see your boundaries as an attack on their comfort rather than what they actually are, a shield for your own peace. Healthy boundaries are simply decisions about how you deserve to be treated. They exist to protect your stability, regardless of how the other person's ego interprets them. The silence feels different this time. A real, tangible possibility has emerged. Your absence might actually be permanent. This possibility forces the avoidant to confront the questions they usually ignore. They have to consider what happens if you finally recognize your value and decide never to settle for emotional breadcrumbs again. This graph illustrates a sudden psychological shift. The terror of losing you permanently is now overriding their baseline fear of intimacy. Their internal rules begin to collapse. The person who once avoided serious conversations suddenly begins reaching out, becoming uncharacteristically affectionate and communicative. The avoidant is mourning the version of you that accepted less than you deserved. They miss the partner who waited endlessly without asking difficult questions. People often only appreciate emotional safety once it disappears. Removing automatic access is the only mechanism that forces an avoidant to see the value they previously took for granted. This leads to the reconciliation trap. It is a mistake to assume that a sudden return or a spike in affection signals that the avoidant has achieved emotional maturity. There is a critical distinction between missing a relationship and simply missing the unilateral emotional access you used to provide. Consistency is the only metric for real growth. Anyone can be expressive during a crisis. The test is whether that behavior remains once the fear of losing you subsides. This timeline chart shows the difference. Promises made during a panic are often short-lived. Real growth looks like these consistent actions that survive the return of comfort. Protecting your dignity while maintaining your kindness is the most effective stance you can take. Self-respect does not need to win an argument. It simply refuses to negotiate with treatment that damages your stability. By holding this line, the emotional balance between both people changes forever. You command respect when you change the rules of access, ensuring the relationship can never return to its previous broken baseline.